Can polite words translate into action? Cliff May is the founder and president of Foundation for Defensive Democracies, and he joins us now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So first off, what was your overall view of how things went yesterday?
Well, no deal is always preferable to a bad deal. And Putin came wanting to make a bad deal, wanting to get Trump on his side. He didn't do it. President Trump would have liked to get Putin to agree to a ceasefire. Don't confuse a ceasefire with peace. I don't think that was possible in this meeting, and so it didn't happen. It could happen later. Keep in mind, I think this is important, the symbolism. The Russians are always big on symbolism. So Putin goes and he plants a bouquet at a memorial to Russian-American cooperation in World War II. Keep in mind that cooperation came about only after Hitler betrayed Stalin, and after the war, the Iron Curtain fell, and Poland, Czechoslovakia, other East European nations were all beholden to the Kremlin. That's what he wants again. And Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister, he showed up in a shirt that had in Cyrillic letters USSR on it. Was he not saying the Cold War isn't quite over yet? I think that those messages have to be taken seriously. We need to understand who Putin is.
You know, one of the things that I was struck by is in the response to yesterday's events, a lot of Democrats were outraged by listening what Putin said during his prepared remarks during that press lecture. But they were particularly outraged about him talking about Russia's own security interests or the quote unquote root causes. And I thought it was kind of interesting because, of course, no matter how much, Putin is in the wrong and you might not like Putin, don't you also kind of have to understand what perspective he's coming from in order to figure out how to get him to do something that he doesn't want to do that we want him to do?
Yes, you do. And I think it's important and it's correct that Trump very much did want to humiliate Putin, wants him to save face, all of that. But Putin is not really scared that Ukraine is coming for him. Putin's not really scared that NATO is going to invade him. Let's understand who Putin is. I've been following this guy for years and years, and I've been going to the Soviet Union. I started more than 50 years ago. He sees himself as a czar. And his goal is to restore the Russian Empire, which for a number of decades became the Soviet Empire. And that's actually when it was biggest. The Russian Empire was largest under Stalin after World War II because it included the satellites. And that's also why Putin has put up monuments to Stalin all around the country. Let me remind you, too, that Stalin imposed a famine on Ukraine in the 1930s that killed millions of Ukrainians. That's why they don't want to be ruled by the Kremlin.
Right. Cliff May, thank you so much for joining us.
Great to see you.
And we'll be right back.
Hurricanes are coming.